I was molested by Brian Desher in the summer of 1997. After that, I asked the God of myself, what was he looking for? And when I found out, I said, I don't want to do that again. I was alone. I don't want to do that again. That's enough. Now I know. Because I was molested. It wasn't that I was looking for sex with my God by myself. No, I don't know God that way. I don't really believe in God. So what happened after that was I had further problems. And I've had sexual abuse of myself by myself, to myself alone, and by other sex offenders besides Brian Desher since then. So it's the year 2025 now. It's all that time in between. There have been a number of different sex offenders. And then there's Charles Toh, who's trying to watch the door to make sure that I don't get hurt by somebody else who's not himself to himself. Yeah. He's just very protective of the door until he went missing recently. And I heard Geri, the landlord, say that she thinks that Charles Toh died because of her calling around AT&T to the coroner's office to find out if Charles Toh is alive. And the coroner's office says to Geri by AT&T that Charles Toh's died. Okay, Charles Toh died. All right. I don't know that because I'm not in the coroner's office. I'm not a coroner. So what's wrong with God making the threatening that somebody's a missing person, and then the coroner's office is drawing conclusion that somebody died? Doesn't it only matter if they died if you're looking right at them as a doctor and want to know if they have vital signs or not? Because that determines where you're going to be with the body, if it has vital signs or it doesn't have vital signs, if you're going to be the doctor to that body. It's not yourself, so you can leave it, but like if it has vital signs, it's alive, right? So then what are you going to do? And if there's no vital signs, it's not really alive that way. What are you going to do as the doctor? That's the doctor who would ask the question, is it alive or not? Did somebody die or not out of vital signs? So I'm not interested in Geri the landlord saying that Charles Toh died because it matters whether or not she's the doctor, not if she's the landlord. Well, who is saying who died? I also heard Donna, my mom figure, say that Grandma Silly died, and she was born in the year 1899. That was her birthday year. And she died sometime in 1980 something, like 1987, 1988, something like that. And my mom was not a doctor in the hospital at the time, and she's not the doctor in my house either. And Grandma Silly was not present at the time she said it, so it's possible that Grandma Silly died. And then a short time later, I did attend a funeral with clergy at the funeral. That Grandma Silly was in a coffin, and they lowered it into the ground right in front of me. I don't know if she was really in there because the lid was closed at the funeral, and I didn't open the lid to see if there was anything in there. Whoa. What if it's not her? That's what's wrong with that. What does 6 feet under mean? How many different people's feet? Is it 3 people with 6 feet together under 6 feet underground? I don't know what happened to Grandma Silly died, said Donna. But I'm not interested in Donna being a landlord in my house, and she said that somebody died, when it might have been for her to just be thinking about that to herself. I don't know how to get it through your minds. Think about it. When I was in Valley Hospital in about a year ago, I shouted at staff of Valley Hospital Behavioral Health. I shouted something about the face masks that for COVID-19, they still wear them, the face masks. I said, the face mask is for you not to speak through the face mask because it covers your mouth so that you won't speak. That's for you to know not to speak through your face mask. And then I shouted it at the text. of the behavioral health unit. And then I said to one of them, think about it, because all they are is threatening to talk to me. And it's true that they don't have any real substance to think about it, that they think that's why there's talking going on at all. And they have a face mask over their mouth so they know they don't have to speak because they are covered over the face. That means somebody doesn't identify you as the speaker anyway. So why are you speaking? I don't know who the staff people are at Valley Hospital Behavioral Health. They have face masks on, and I don't know who they are. And that's the same thing as if somebody died. Charles Toh died, said Geri. It sounds like said Geri wants to know something about what said Geri. Said Geri, said Geri, said Geri to Becky, said Geri to Becky, said Geri. She doesn't really care about that Charles Toh died, but I do. I care that Charles Toh is missing and that I don't confirm with myself whether or not he died. I don't know that. It sounds like Geri has a problem where nobody owes her rent for the month and that she doesn't work here anymore for that reason, among all the other reasons that are pre-existing. Are you telling me that God gave Charles Toh a death for Charles Toh not to pay Geri any rent? And Geri just said, Charles Toh died. Rebecca, you owe me $1,200 in rent. And it's the 5th of the month. It's due right now. Yeah. Well, I want to know what God is going to do about his problems with Geri, and that I can't really come up with the money because it's God's money from me. It's not me having done so much crime that I have a huge savings and I'm paying it out to Geri for landlording of an apartment. As if I wouldn't have my own house in that scenario. I'm wrong that way as the overlord. So back to sexual abuse. When I touch myself alone, I still consider it sexual abuse because it's only after I was molested. Otherwise, it is against for myself to have any sex because I am the father. The sex is a part of myself taken away from myself, something that died against myself, and I am over that it died against myself, and I don't want any sex on this body. But there is a lot of sexual abuse, and I find the overlord is making sex on this body, and I have a lot of money moving around my body, and I find that the money is moving out. So why is there any sex? Sure, I feel close to the God of who's creating the sex when he's doing that, but not when there's sexual abuse, sex offender supervision. And I have to take into consideration that there are sexual abuse supervisions outside of the apartment in the offices that are landlording that door from the outside of the door. Well, what money is there? Because I am missing some money for rent for the month of May. So there was sex going on and I don't have the rent for the month of May. I don't have rent for June at all. Well, so the sexual abuse is clearly against myself that I'm missing money. Well, it's all along been paying out money. Of course, that way I'm losing the money, but I would have lost it anyway. I've been not having sex all the time. It's off and on over my lifetime, but it's all against myself. And I see that the money, I pretty much don't have the money anyway. So that's why I want to know why my overlord is doing that. I know my overlord loves me, but we are not alone. Can we hurry this up? And I don't know if we can, because there's something about you that's more angry than I am when I come out of myself to make creation.